Hello everyone, I'm back again just to give you a little update on some things that have happened and to say thank you for everyone who came out on Monday. Thank you for supporting, thank you for just being there. One of the things we want to let people understand is that they did pass a resolution to proceed with the censor process and to proceed with a procedure for the hearing that is unfair. Now, a resolution is something that the city council has to pass anytime they do anything, to say how they're going to do it. So if they say we want to have a hearing to censor Mr. Williams, then they have to lay out a procedure and how they plan on the standards for the hearing. What are the rules for the hearing to decide whether he gets censored or not? So in doing that, Mr. Williams' lawyer did review that some of the things in the document were unfair, as far as people being able to plead the Fifth Amendment, and what reason would they have, because most of the time I think the lawyer said you can only plead the Fifth Amendment if it's going to be absolute distress, life or death type of situation. But if it's a situation where you just don't want to because you'll be embarrassed, that's not really, you know, if you're a subpoena, that's a subpoena. So those were some of the things that were kind of unfair, and that Mr. Williams took the time with his lawyer to draw up a documentation of fair and reasonable standards for the hearing, which they dismissed. They didn't even take the time to read it. So I mean, when we're when we're looking at a city where they won't even read the information in front of them, we have to understand why they won't support education. We have to understand why they don't support our schools and actually putting money towards that, because they don't believe in education. So getting back to the intimate process of what's going on. So you have Mr. Williams, who turned in that piece of paper saying these would be fair and reasonable rules. Could you read over it? They said, whatever. We're going to pass what we want anyway. And they did that. So we need to stay focused on building our momentum, continuing to speak. They did try to say that, you know, people were rowdy or this happened or that happened, and none of those things happened. People weren't rowdy. Nobody was cussing at people and all this other stuff like they try to make it seem. It was a lot of people, and when numbers come out, they naturally get nervous. There's a natural fear of truth, and that's what we have to understand, because our city chooses to turn their ear from truth. And it was just very interesting at the meeting. They had an awards for the mayor's youth council, and the mayor was saying how education is an equalizer. Well, if education is an equalizer, why won't the council educate themselves on some of the issues that, or information that would help them make better decisions, so they could be making equal and fair decisions? Well, they chose not to do that. So it's very funny, because we have to remember that a lot of times we are duped. A good friend of Miss Alana Moore, we were talking today, and she was wanting the word nice. Nice actually means, if you look at the definition, the original meaning of nice was simple, basic, ignorant, even down clumsy, not knowing. So if somebody's a nice guy, they're just they're a basic, simple person. If you had a nice time, you had a basic, simple time. But if you experienced something that was beautiful, or you really were joyed by it, you don't describe it as, oh, it was just nice. So yeah, people are nice people, but that's not what we're looking for. We need strong people. We need innovative people. We need independent, creative people to bring forth change in our community. And I know there's so many of us out there, and no matter what your creative talent or gift is, it's so needed in every single way. So back to the council meeting, and how education is obviously not important, because we have to watch people's actions. We cannot listen to what comes out of their mouth. We have to watch their actions. And their actions are, they're not standing up for the things they say. They say anything in front of your face, but behind your back they do something different. And we don't want two-faced people. We want people who will be straight up with you all the time. And that's the type of leaders you want, because it trickles down in our community. So when you think about that, them not valuing that, then they went on to say, and the mayor was like, well, you know, I donate my funds back to the Mayor's Star Award. And I mean, like I tell them, I think you should, because you owe over $100,000 in taxes. Like, the people working at the Leonard Inn aren't getting paid half of what they should get paid. So it's cute to give out an award to make you look good with a mayor's sticker on it and a sign, but what are you doing every day to the everyday people that you could be helping affect and help grow their lives in a better way? So I don't really care about you doing that. That just helps your conscience not feel guilty for all the other stuff you're doing to people out here in the streets, which is absolutely wrong. So we have to remember those things and look at people's actions and what they're actually doing in their, when no one's watching. That's the measure of a true leader. So we just need to be watching for exposure. So we know how to vote. So, you know, people, don't worry if you don't have a movement in you to do anything to come to a meeting. If you just watch online, if you just keep your mind focused so you can hear, and when it's time to vote, vote. If that's your piece, thank you. That's all we need, you know, whatever you can do. The next thing is that I want to speak about is working, and how we have to get out of this mindset of valuing money as much as we do, because honestly, your work is your worship. Work is love made visible. And a lot of these jobs are indoctrinating us to have fear, shame, and guilt, and to always keep running. And I'm speaking not from experience. I used to work 3 jobs. I mean, anybody who really knows me knows I've been in that shop 7 days a week, from 7 in the morning till 3 in the morning, you know, working, because money does control you. And I wasn't a nice person. A lot of people who used to work me can say, Pinky will blame, she'll cuss you out, like, you know, a whole lot of stuff. But that's what happens when you take my work and it becomes about money and not about the love of it. I started doing hair because I had low self-esteem, and I understood that just by doing my hair different, since I didn't have clothes and shoes and all the other stuff, it gave me a sense of confidence. So I saw how I could make other women feel good about themselves and stop them from going through the depression and the low self-esteem that I dealt with through being able to do their hair. So my work is my worship. Every time I do someone's hair, I put my heart into it. I hope they really feel beautiful when they leave. I hope they really have a different perception on life by seeing themselves differently. And I love what I do, but the money made me not love what I did. It really turned it to get this money, and I didn't want to. I thank you for the money, but there's a wealth inside of me. There's a kingdom that reigns, that's so much bigger and so much deeper. So we want to stay focused on that. And a lot of times it was powerful, because even at the city council meeting, one of the ladies who came up and spoke about the budget was Miss Sally Johnson, who used to work for the city for over 35 years, I believe, or 30 years, I believe. Excuse me if I'm misquoting that. But she said she worked for the city for all this time, but she couldn't see what was really happening until she left. And now that she's gone, she could look at this budget and see all the things that were wrong. So do you see, even in the spirit realm, how she didn't even see while she was in it what was happening to her, what was covering her eyes from seeing the truth. So all I'm saying is that focus on the indoctrination that your jobs put in your atmosphere, and how they switch and they desensitize you to actually understanding who you are in this human race. And I don't even like to say the word race, because it's not a competition, it's a cooperation. So when we understand our work is our worship, and work is love made visible, and if you really start doing the true work of your heart, that all these things wouldn't be able to take place. And the way to implode the system is to slowly move away from it. We don't have to kill everybody in the system. We just decide that the system doesn't work for us, and we create a new one. So everyone that's working for the government and in jobs, you better know that there's a spirit that covers your eyes. There's a spirit that keeps you from being able to truly see. If you don't focus on truth and righteousness and wanting to understand, you will be duped by the manipulation, by the shame, by the guilt, by the power of the evil that money carries, that they have put in our system. Because let's think about it. Money is nothing but a piece of paper that says, I owe you. It's like me writing on a piece of paper, I owe you, and giving it to you. But because we believe in it, it has power. I believe in your human worth more than I believe in $1. I would rather come do your hair and then you be able to make me a dress or pour into my life to inspire me to do something different. That was worth me spending that time with you. So we have to reevaluate what is important to us, and it all goes back to our leaders, our school system, everything. We got to be able to stand up and fight. And sometimes the sacrifices are saying, you know what, you won't bring our principal back, we're not sending out one student back to Goldsboro High School next year. We got 846 registered churches in this city. Why can't every church open up as a school? Why can't all these people that's talking help go in there and homeschool these children, or get them in a situation? We have enough schools to have all those children in a place where they could be learning. So there's no reason except for our own laziness, our own wanting to fit in to the system. And remember, I don't want to fit into anything. I want to belong. That means I want to be where I'm supposed to be. And we're not supposed to be a part of that system. So I'm not going to curse the darkness when I can light a candle. No, they're not doing right. But we can do right if we take the time and we focus and bring our resources together. So let's do something different. It's time for drastic measures. Drastic things are happening. And I'm going to end this real quickly. But when I was there, the other night I was reading something to them that God had laid on my heart about Proverbs, and I was trying to read a scripture about evil men not knowing the law, and God took me to a scripture about the mighty treasures, and it was just powerful to me because I went home and I was like, dang, I ain't read the right one. When in my heart it was, because God was saying, come on, man, we're not gonna keep cursing the darkness. I had you speak some light, because the path of righteousness is prevailing through this situation, and the wealth and the treasures of the kingdom will be laid upon the people who understand what God is telling us to do right now, and that is move in the path of righteousness. Be intimately involved with letting the Creator use you every second of your day and every piece of your atmosphere, because it's the intimate things, it's the things you do behind the scenes that is going to affect the biggest change in our community. So I just want to say thank you. I'm excited about where we're going. I'm excited about everyone in this community and all the beautiful giftings that are about to erupt and about to come forth and about to be shown and seen. So just thank you. Stay focused. Stay focused. I love you.